As mayor, I'd like to call this meeting to order with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's do it, call the roll.
Martyr. Here. Parker. Here. Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Stoops.
Here.
Wilson. Zukas. Here.
I don't have any non-agenda items from the sidelines. City administration, Don? Jamie? What's the good news?
Good news is we're working on our reports that are required by the state, and we plan on having those in the next 2 weeks. So everything should be good for 2018 going forward.
Chief Culkey?
This week I started my 4th week. Been going very good, very busy. The days fly by. I was able to go and talk to pretty much every business except for 3 or 4. Every once in a while I drive down Main Street and you realize there's another business tucked back somewhere next to the party store. I noticed there's a business next to that. We got vests from bulletproof vests from Frazier because the guys weren't wearing it. I'm looking at getting a grant because you have to wait. I got their SOPs. Standard operating procedures, so I'm rewriting those with Memphis on there to get that all good. We all qualified Friday. We're all up to date on that. We did drills at the high school and the elementary school last week for active shooters. Long list of a lot of things, but I've pretty much started everything. It's just waiting for some things. So it's going very good, and I'm very happy, and no problems at all so far.
That's what we like to hear. Chief Diaz?
The fire department's going to start their toy drive again this year. Next week we're going to get started on it. The fill a truck toy drive, so you'll start seeing flyers around town for that. That's about it.
All right, thank you. There's no amendments. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda presented. Support.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Martyr.
Yes.
Hopefully you've all had a chance to look over the minutes from October 17th. Was there any questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from October 17, 2017 as presented.
Support. Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Martyr.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes. We have the October disbursements report of $99,363.19 and electronic wire transfers of $8,900. If there's no
There should be 28 cents on that, by the way.
$8,928.
Yeah, 28 cents.
Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to accept the disbursements report and the wire transfers for set amounts. Support.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Martyr.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes. Could I get a motion to place the communications on file?
Motion?
Support.
Yes.
Stoops. Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Martyr.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Tom, did you want to talk about the letter?
I will.
Why don't you go up there?
Am I calling up?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
I'm here tonight representing the Memphis Historical Society in our request to designate officially a building in town as a Memphis Historical Building. That building is located on the south side of Boardman Road, east of Main Street, and it was the previous location of the Donut Girls Donut and Sandwich Shop. This building, we believe, is a significant historical building in town. It was previously located there was a wooden veneer building that burned down in 1905. And in 1906, the owner of the building and property that had burned He was the village president, his name is Nathan Jarvis, and he planned to rebuild right away. And in 1906, he built the building that we see there today. And Jarvis was going to try to do what he could to avoid a future fire. And so he built the entire outside of the building with concrete block. The block on the front of the building, that's the north side, and the block on the east side, the alley side, is an architectural block of various sizes and shapes and has a design in the surface. The blocks on the south wall are, you could call them architectural blocks. They're various sizes and shapes, but they don't have a design on the surface like the other two walls do. You can't see the west wall because it's up against the adjacent building. This building has had good use over the years. It's not been an idle building until recently. When it was built new in 1906, it was originally occupied on the first floor by Helmer Johnson. He was a local barber. And on the second floor by Dr. Waters for his medical practice on the second floor. Johnson sold his barber business to Charles Durfee in a few years, and Durfee continued to be there on the first floor till 1919, and Dr. Waters on the second floor till 1919. Durfee was a prominent family in town, and in fact the Durfee Street was named after the Durfee family. Previously it was called Union Street all the way to the north end. In 1919, the St. Clair Central Telephone Company rented both the first and the second floor of this building. And so Dr. Waters moved his practice to Port Huron, and Charles Durfee moved his barber shop to another location. The St. Clair Central Telephone Company stayed there until 1943 and ran their village telephone service from that building, first and second floor. In 43, they moved to a building across from what is now the police station. And into the building that they had moved out of on the first floor moved Amos J. Pearsall. He was in the real estate business and the insurance business, and he continued his business there into the early 60s. Now this is an interesting history. It kind of gives us a better feeling for the building, how it was used over the years, but it doesn't necessarily make it a historical building. What does is its consistent architecture. The architecture we see there today is the same architecture as was put there in 1906. The Historical Society has a good picture of this building that shows the north and the east walls. And we've used this building in comparing the details in the picture to what we see when we look at the building today. The windows are all where they were when it was built. The sizes they were where they were built, except for the large window on the north wall. The window frame has been changed and the glass has been changed, but the location and the size appears to be just like it shows in the picture. There's also been a hole cut in the east wall for a window air conditioner to stick through. We have no picture of the south wall, but looking at the concrete blocks on the south wall, comparing them to the other two walls, looking at the window locations and so forth, I believe that the south wall is the original architecture of the building. This building, we believe, is the oldest commercial building of original architecture on Boardman Road. And it may be argued that it's the oldest building of original architecture in our city. Because this building is original architecture and unchanged, we think that's the best basis for asking that it be designated a Memphis Historical Building. If it is designated a Memphis Historical Building, Memphis Historical Society would open a Memphis Museum in the building to occupy the lower level. We would display historical photographs, physical items, and memorabilia judged to be historical to Memphis. These materials would be secured, where we would trust that nobody's going to be convenient to walking off with any of our property. They would be secured and they would be available for the public for close-up inspection of Memphis history. So we're requesting that this building, for the reasons I've mentioned, be designated a Memphis Historical Building.
A question for you, Tommy. Don't know just how to word it. Anyway, I think the state, as a state historical preservation office, and if just us designating it, I just think makes it a historical building. I think the state really has to do that. Did you check with them or do any further due diligence on something like
I
that?
got most of my information from our building inspector, Jeff, can you help me? Jeff Kern, right. And this is not going to be a state historical building, it will be a city historical building.
Can we do that without, and still have it a, I know if it's a designated historical building, there's a lot of restrictions and protocol and regulations you gotta go through. My house could not be considered a historical building by the state because it's got vinyl siding. And so, and from what I've read over many, many years, that once it's designated by the state as a historical building, then there's very strict rules and regulations you have to do, particularly to the outside.
I'll bet there will be.
And for us designated, I guess it's really no problem, but I wouldn't want to be in conflict
Conflict
with
with
something
state,
that
right,
is state
okay.
regulated.
So we'll take on the task of exploring what's the state and what's the city and what's required here.
Yeah, so what I'd probably like to see, it's up to council and the mayor, but before we proceed any further, is to find out if the state has to be involved if you
Yeah.
designate it an historical building, because I wouldn't want to be in violation
Yeah.
of what they did.
Or-
Is there a reason why it has to be did this or done that, or for us to do that? Is there some other reason we have to do it, or you cannot? Or I guess my question would be, can you still use it as historical for displaying historical items that are significant to the city without it being designated an historical building?
We cannot.
You cannot. Okay.
We
That's
cannot.
okay. That's the reason for this thing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what Jeff told you?
What I've learned from Jeff Kern, and he's been very helpful in guiding me through what we can and what we can't do, is that because the building has been not in use for longer than 6 months, it's required to meet certain construction guidelines that it wouldn't otherwise have to meet if it had continually been used. And these construction guidelines require that this 15 by 20 foot single room building, first floor, be equipped with a handicapped bathroom. And handicapped bathrooms, I don't have any dimensions from them, but they're not too small. You gotta be able to maneuver that chair around in front of the toilet and the sink, and around and so forth. And this this floor is 15 by 20 feet. The handicap bathroom is required because the public will be entering the building. If you use it for storage, you don't need it. But if the public's gonna come in, you need a handicap bathroom.
So
Okay.
what you're saying then, regardless of what that building, even though even that's commercial,
Yeah,
what you're saying, regardless even what you put, somebody goes in there,
yeah,
they can't put it in unless they meet the current building codes.
that's right.
That's what you're saying.
Up like a new building. They gotta-
Regardless whether it's you or anybody else.
Anybody else. They
Okay.
gotta make it like a new building if the public is allowed to enter. Secondly,
Before you go further, so does the historical designation change that? Okay,
It would.
okay.
and so, secondly, the building doors must be widened to a minimum of 36 inches. This means that you've gotta tear out the windows and start moving the
Yeah,
openings and
yeah,
so
'cause
forth.
it is a small
It's
building.
a major involvement here to change those doors, both front and back door have to be 36 inches or more. Also, each door has to have a handicap ramp. Now, the door on the north wall is quite high off the sidewalk. And state stipulates the slope of this ramp. And somebody told me it was gonna have to be about 30 feet long. So you have to go toward the alley and then you have to do a turn and go south down the side of the building in order to get enough length.
You probably would, because we run into the same thing over the weekend.
Okay, so you would have to meet all current building codes, ADA codes, to use it as a museum without the historical designation. If we have the historical designation,
Right.
we don't have to meet all of those
If it's a
criteria.
historical designation building in the city, we do not have to have any bathroom.
Well, then I think then what we have to determine, can the city council designate it a historical building with, just do it without any authorization from the state?
We need to
And I
find
think
that out.
that's the thing we'll have to find out.
Right, we need to find that out.
Yeah.
Also, the doors do not need to be widened, and also there needs to be one ramp, which is probably within the financial ability of the Historical Society to put on the south wall.
I know Romeo does it. Like they name their own historical buildings
Well,
within Romeo, and they may not, because a lot of them don't fit the state historical guidelines, because they've replaced windows is usually the big thing. Replacing the windows, now they don't fit the historical guidelines, but for the municipality of Romeo, I know that they have their own designation for historical buildings.
Well, I wouldn't feel comfortable without doing it without knowing
We'll get
that
there.
we're not in violation.
Yeah.
If we're not in violation, I have no problem with it.
Can we get a motion to table this until we have further information?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Tom.
Wilson,
Yes.
Stuckis. Yes. Martyr. Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Tom, I don't get on the computer, but I think I found a name. It was the State Historical Preservation Office in the state. Maybe, you can get on the computer and see if you can find any information. I'll help you where I can, but I'm computer illiterate, so I can't do anything on the computer, so.
What was that name again?
State Historical Preservation Office. Maybe you can,
They're a part of the Secretary of State's.
okay, yeah, so maybe you can do some checking there and that is.
Thanks, Tom. I'd like to back up here just a minute and go to the non-agenda items. And Tammy, why don't you come on up with the Chamber's presentation?
Thank you. The Memphis Area Chamber of Commerce selects the business of the month every month. And for the month of November, we selected the Richmond Lennox EMS as the business of the month for November. So if I can have Jeff White come up here. So the Richmond Lennox EMS, they support all of Memphis surrounding areas. They're always willing to assist, help out in health fairs or just a lot of stuff that anybody, if the school's got something going on or the Lions Club, I know that you guys are always willing to jump in and help out, offer your assistance, and you're always in the area, and we really appreciate all you do. So with that, I want to present you with this Memphis Area Business of the Month for November 2017, and we look forward to a longer working relationship with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin. It's always nice to be recognized for what we just think is another day at the office. So, as a Memphis area resident, if you will, it's kind of a pleasure to be able to come out here and be recognized by the community for the work that really our people do. So, thank you again.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Dan. Okay. New business. Resolution for mutual aid. This is nothing new. Chief, want to just give us a quick rundown on this?
This is, was given to me at the police chief's meeting through the Michigan the Macomb County Association of Police, Chiefs of Police. This is just a formality if a major catastrophe happened here or in another city. This is an agreement saying that other departments will come in and assist us. The fire department has been doing it forever. This is the first time that I've seen Macomb do it for the police, but I've been out of it for a year and a half. Main thing is if, for instance, they call me and say, hey, down in Roseville, we had a bomb explode and we need every department in the county. If I didn't have any guys working, it's not mandatory that we go. We can leave at any time if I find it's costing 50 hours of overtime, if financially we can't do it. But then the good thing about it is if we have something here happen, we can get everybody here. On the police side, they're all pretty much gonna probably show up anyway, but this is a set agreement.
I think we've been doing this with St. Clair County previously,
Yeah,
and we've
yeah.
definitely been doing it with the fire department.
Yeah, the police on St. Clair County, from what I found, is a little faster than Macomb County has been, so we're just trying to catch, I think they're just catching up to the fire department in Macomb and then the police in St. Clair.
Any questions? Could I get a motion to have me sign this?
I'll make the motion that we participate in the Macomb County Law Enforcement Mutual Agreement. Mutual aid agreement.
Support.
Lucas?
Yes.
Martyr?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Sofa?
Yes.
Stoops? Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Administrative memo number 3, budget amendments. This is for the sidewalk work that we did. The sidewalk work that we did over at the library. We actually got a really nice donation from a citizen to do all the work. I think the total was $9,340 and all the work that we did with the approach and the sidewalks over there and the apron. So we need to move $2,680 over to the community center side of the budget.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Martyr?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Sofa?
Yes.
Stoops?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Lucas?
Yes.
Okay, so the planning commission met last week and we had a citizen requesting to combine 2 properties that are adjoined. One has the garage and one has the house. They are selling the house, I believe, and
Yeah.
the mortgage company wants to see them connected together, so something should happen. They're all one piece of property. The only thing that I would change on the minutes here is I believe the motion was to combine and recommend the council to approve, right, Larry?
It was, yes.
Yeah, so that the lots are combined. So other than that, basically just a formality, and this is what we like to do. We like to combine them, right, Jamie?
Combining helps density issues, yes. You have less density when you
Yeah, when
do
you
combinations.
when you look at it over there, it looks like it's all one anyway,
It's non-conforming because they allowed the garage to be built on a separate lot.
Yeah.
In our, as an example, Mr. Siska, this last year, we required that he combine the vacant lot before he could build the pole barn.
Yeah.
It's the direction you want to go.
Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the lot combination.
I'll support it.
Parker?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Sofa?
Yes.
Stoops?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Lucas? Yes. Martyr?
Yes, that the motion probably should include those lot numbers, so people can.
Okay.
Okay, Motorola radios.
Like I mentioned in my memo that I wrote, I think I spoke to a few of you already. Motorola is running a special right now, half off of their handheld radios with a 5-year warranty on them. So we'd like to take advantage of that and purchase a couple of radios out of our equipment replacement fund. That price is for 5 radios, 5 chargers, 5 microphones, and 5 spare batteries.
Is expensive.
They're very
As
expensive.
you and I already discussed.
I know.
And I thought I saw in a note here that they're not going to support the radios that we have.
So currently, yes, our radios that we purchased were back in 2007, I believe. So it's been 10 years now, and Motorola is no longer going to support that model of radio that we currently have as of December 2019, 18.
They got 1 year left.
So yeah, I mean, we'll still be able to get parts. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult. The warranty work isn't going to be through Motorola anymore, so we want to slowly start updating what we have
And I imagine if
Because
you wait
currently,
till-
right now, we have about 23 radios, so.
I imagine if you wait to the last minute, you're not gonna get this deal either, because
Right,
they
so
know
I-
everybody's gonna be in a crunch to buy them, so they'll.
That's the thought, is to take advantage of the deal while it's out there. Although it doesn't seem like much of a deal. but-
I know.
Remember, the first ones are free.
Technology's supposed to keep getting cheaper, I thought. You know, that's the other thing.
Any other questions? Could I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchases of radios for the fire department in the amount of $18,112.50.
Sport.
To come out of the equipment replacement.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Wilson, Lucas. Yes. Martyr,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
All right, from the mayor, well, nobody's gonna see this on Channel 6, but I guess I'll just tell everybody here, the city office will probably be closed tomorrow from about 8:30 to 10 in order to take our election results down to the county. And we will be looking for cookie donations again for the tree lighting, which is December 1st. I know it's always a pretty big deal. I know last year we really got good support for cookies and donations, so hopefully we can do that again. And I'm looking forward to it. And that's all I have. Kurt?
Nothing for me.
Larry?
Nothing tonight.
JP? Robbie?
All good.
Yeah?
Project graduation is raffling off 2 sets of 300 pounds of meat for $10 a ticket. There's only 1,000 tickets, so find your senior that you know, get a ticket.
Do you have a senior?
A couple. I know.
I have nothing to add. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Tom, I'm gonna, I don't even know what